Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Before we get started in this video, please like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section down below. Please provide me with any of your suggestions. Positive or negative feedback is greatly appreciated. Now, in a previous video, recently I had gone over this 538 demographic model, and we had briefly touched upon it, and I said I was going to make a video going in more detail about it, and this is the video that I'm going to do that. So we have here the results of the 2020 election by demographics. So this is very specific. And we see here that, Biden got 303 electoral votes and Trump got 235 with the current system. We can see here in the age factor, Biden did really well with 18 to 29-year-olds, 30 to 44-year-olds. Trump did better with older voters, and it breaks down a lot of the sex ratios. Biden did a lot better with females and Trump, won males. And then in the income section, it was pretty close in all income groups, except Biden did a lot better in the under 30K. And obviously with the race factor, Trump did a lot better with whites, while Biden did a lot better with the minority groups. So in this video, we're gonna shape up and change this demographic model to see what will be closer to this election's outcome. And we're gonna see how this affects the map. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the independent vote for all of the demographic sections, because we all know that this election is going to be a lot higher than 2% independent. So we're going to bump that all the way up to currently maybe around 5%. We don't know what it's going to be exactly, but right now I'm going to have it at 5%. Maybe this can change later. And this already would, interestingly enough, flip Arizona red. And that's pretty fascinating to say the least. But going from there, we're going to, obviously turnout's going to be down, but I think it's going to be down pretty equally, maybe more with younger voters. So while I am going to decrease turnout by quite a little bit, we're going to decrease it a little more with younger voters, especially. And we can see that already Trump would win the election right there. So, yeah, that's how close the election was in 2020. But Trump only lost these combined states by 40,000 votes. So it's very interesting that just doing that alone would give him the victory. But let's just give Biden back the turnout. And let's say all the turnout across all age group decreases the same amount. Okay. So going from there, let's go through the different demographics and see where Trump is, most likely going to gain and where Biden might gain, and see if that shapes up to be a, Trump win or a Biden win or, something very close. We're going to begin with the age groups. On the 18 to 29-year-olds, we see Biden struggling with this demographic a lot, and we see them shifting to the right a lot, and I'm sure a lot of them vote a lot more independent than usual. So what we're going to do here is decrease the 29 to around 24, because I think Trump will gain not too much, but I think he'll gain a good amount. Between 13 to 44-year-olds, I think Trump's going to gain a solid 4 points there as well. With 45 to 64-year-olds, I also think Trump's going to gain a few points there. So with 65 plus, though, I think Biden's going to gain a little bit, and I think this will be closer to what it would be. With the college-educated and non-college educated, to begin with, the college educated is going to move to the right by a few points over here. And I think that the college educated will get a little bit closer, but may not change too much. Going down to the sex groups, I don't think it'll change too much. I do think, though, that Trump will gain among females a little bit, and he'll gain among males a little bit. Now the income section. In the income section, we can see that Biden performed a lot better with people under 30K. Meanwhile, over 30K, it was very back and forth. I think the under 30K is going to have a massive shift to the right of quite a few points. I think the 30 to 60 is going to flip by a few points. I think 60 to 100 will move a little more to the right. And I think 100K or more will move a little more to the left over here. So those small changes do make a difference. And so far, we can see that Trump has 313 electoral votes. He has flipped, all the closest swing states, including Nebraska, second. So that's pretty interesting over there. Next, we're going to go to the race. And this is probably one of the most important demographic groups in this election. We're going to start with Asians and Pacific Islanders. we don't have too much data to show, what's going to happen, but I think Trump's going to improve with this age group by quite a significant amount. And I think with African American groups, Trump will also improve a significant amount. The margin will probably go down to around a 75-point margin. And probably the biggest gain for Trump is the Hispanics. In the Hispanic column, I think it'll go down by as much as 10 percentage points. I think Trump will lose them not by 37, but by 27. With others, Trump will gain a little bit. And then with whites, I think Biden will gain a tiny bit, but I don't think it'll be too much. And this is what we have from this changing the map. We're going to have Trump at 313 and Biden at 225. And the thing about this is this lines up exactly almost where the polls are. So this is the polling average on Real Clear Politics, and it's the exact same on every other aggregate site. Trump has 312, Biden has 226. On this map, Trump has 313 and Biden has 225. The only difference between them two is that Trump will win Nebraska second over here. And over here, he would win Nebraska second over here on 538, but in the polls, he's projected to lose Nebraska second. There isn't any polling in Nebraska second out of Real Clear Politics, but there was a poll released, not added here. I don't know why they didn't add it here, but there was a poll that had Trump up. So that would mean that Trump would be winning in the polls in Nebraska second, which would give him 313 electoral votes. And this lines exactly up with these demographic models that I have created. And so we're going to be filling out the map based on these exact margins over here. And these are the margins that right now I think are the most likely going to happen. Trump was going to win the popular vote by around 3 percentage points. There's going to be a 5% around 5%. Could be more, a little less, possibly a little more if RFK is still performing well. And Trump will win by 3 percentage points. Right now, he's actually ahead in the Electoral College by around 1%. But if we go back then, he actually was underestimated here by quite a few points. And same thing in 2016, he was underestimated by around 1 percentage point. Putting that both into consideration, he's probably underestimated around 2-3 percentage points, taking history into account, which means he would be winning the popular vote by around 3 to 4-ish. In this case, it says 3. So let's go through each state, and each state is pretty over here, detailed in this column. All right, so let's begin here. These are going to be all the states that Trump will win by a safe column of 12 points or more. And Texas is actually over here. It's pretty surprising that Trump will win Texas by over 12 percentage points. So on the map, it's going to change from likely to safe in Trump's column. And we're going to move down, and these are the states that are going to be likely. Ohio is still safe. Iowa is actually going to be safe. And we can see here that Florida will be it'll be about a 10-point win is what I think it'll be. So this stays the same on the map. And if we come down here, Iowa's safe. North Carolina is a likely state. It'll go down as a likely. We can see here that Georgia would actually be a likely state as well, barely in the likely column. If we go down further, Alaska will be in the safe column. And if we go down to Arizona, this would barely be in the lean column, 6.9%. Going down even more, we can see Pennsylvania would be a lean state for Trump. He's winning that state by 4 percentage points, which is pretty interesting. Wisconsin, too, over here by a similar amount. Nevada by a similar amount. Both these states are going to be in the lean column for Trump. And then we can see Maine second is going to be a safe. Michigan is going to be lean as well. And the U.S. as a whole, obviously, that's going to be a Trump win. And Michigan over here will be lean. And it's pretty interesting that Michigan is going to be a lean state and not a tilt in this map. But anyways, now we're going to go to the states that Biden will win. We can see here, New Mexico is going to be the closest state based on those demographic changes. Very interesting that New Mexico would be that close compared to its 10-point win for Biden in 2020. This will end up being a tilt state for Biden, actually. And if we go down to Minnesota, that will also be a tilt state for Biden. Very, very close margin. New Hampshire over here will be a lean state, as well as Virginia. Those are already marked as lean. Nebraska second will vote for Trump by a lean margin. And then down here, New Jersey, very interesting. New Jersey is a likely state. So likely state for Joe Biden. Colorado would actually be a lean state. It's marked lean on this map, which is down from 13 points in 2020. Very interesting. Illinois is marked here as a lean state, sorry, a likely state for Biden. Delaware would be safe. Connecticut would be safe. Oregon would only be an 11-point win. This is a likely state. This is similar to Hillary Clinton's win in the 2016 election. Rhode Island will be safe. Washington will be safe. Maine's first would be likely for Biden, not safe. California would be safe, and all these rest of these states over here would also be safe for Joe Biden. But it's interesting that Hawaii will go down only as a 21-point win when it was one of the most Democrat states in the 2020 election. And obviously in Maryland, Massachusetts, and Vermont, Biden's going to still be around 80%, and in District of Columbia. So this is very fascinating that Trump will end up with 313 electoral votes and Biden with 225, where Trump ends up flipping, a lot of these swing states. And surprisingly, the closest states are going to end up being Minnesota and New Mexico if these trends do pan out. It is possible that Trump does not do as well as Hispanics, as we're saying. Maybe Biden gains half of that back, but it still wouldn't even change any of the states. And let's say Biden gains back a few more points from the young voters, that still would not be enough to even change anything at all, since overall Trump's gaining a lot, and even giving him some of that African American vote back, still it wouldn't change anything. The electoral map would still be really firm in Trump's column. Of course, some of these margins would go down, like a lot of these over here would go down. Nevada, Michigan would be a 1-point race almost, and the U.S. would be a lot closer in general. But overall, Trump's gains among Hispanics, African Americans, and young voters would definitely offset his losses potentially among older voters, and maybe a little more possibly with this demographic over here, or college-educated voters. But in general, it's looking very good for Trump if we look at a demographic perspective. And this aligns a lot with the polls that we have currently and the map that definitely favors Trump in this aspect. But we'll continue to monitor this. Anyways, guys, this will be enough for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment on this video, and share this with a friend. Thank you so much for watching.